Two people. Two people are the luckiest people in the world. Oh. All right. Hey, Mike. Hey, Darren. Hey, the one. Carnegie's painter. Mike, Hannock, Corey, Fred Jones, Josh, Zizu, Squire, Johnny Vess, Girth Mike, Anderson Savage, Scott Volkovitz, Diego Cliff Duran, Lucid Heart, Barbara. So Ham's going to call in a minute ago, so we'll just wait for him to call in. GME, it's going. It's good. Hey, I thought I was first. Well, Matt K made it first. Sorry, Mike K. This eye is essentially useless. Isn't that terrible? It's terrible. Hey, Nanzatic, Anthony, US Tahoe 1, and Moose. Such a perfect name for a dog is Moose. Moose is a good dog. Moose is a good dog. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know. I used some Vapor Rub and I don't know. I'd be lying if I told you I felt 100% better because I don't. But let's see. Maybe he just texted me. Somebody did. No. Maybe he just called me. No. I reckon you're right popular. All right. Well, we can talk about something else. We talked about HNRC yesterday. They did an update and I read through it, but my key takeaways, other than the fact that they have positive revenue and all that, is and they have diversification into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas. But my key takeaway is they have 42 cents a share NAV, which is lower than what their last, at least to my memory, maybe what they meant in their last release regarding Cunningham is you have to drill 68 wells, 70 wells to add that value. So maybe that's why this value is lower. All right, here we go. All right. You got the ham.
Are you alive?
Yeah, I'm alive. You're live. I'm alive. And
okay,
your audience
just
is
give
here.
me this. I just trying to set up everything so I know what the hell's going on here. All right, everybody. The attacking finger motion continues since October 10th. Every day, documented every day. They keep selling, selling, selling. I know people have been buying it, adding to it. I just spoke to one of the biggest holders, and he's contemplating buying another 500,000 shares. This is complete fraud, and it's perpetrated by Lynn Partners and their cousin, whoever they account they're shorting it through, keeps doing the same thing. They're washing, spoofing, you name it, it's right in front of you. And for those who don't know, the company went after Capybara like SHOT, and I expect the ruling from the judge any day. And we want Capybara, obviously, he's going to rescind what his fake report was that is bashing, and he made up a story, and that'll drag Ben Zinger in it. Jason Resnick is the CEO of that company. The questions I have for Mark Bazile is, did Jason get paid to post those stories? Ben Zinger get paid to post those stories? If he didn't, What is the protocol to get information so that they can post it on their sites? All right. Who pays them? What's the protocol? Can I just send in a story and just, well, he'll post it up for us? We need to know what his protocol, because obviously we all think that Benzinger has been doing this a lot. And how many companies have they done it to? There's only a couple of companies that figured out that they need to fight back. But Benzinger has a distribution model where they sell their information like to E-Trade. E-Trade will pay them for their content and put their hands up and say, hey, it's not coming for us. We pay them. Someone needs to vet this information. And Benzinger is either vetting it or just throwing shit against the wall and doesn't care. All right. And that's the next leg of what's going to go on here. The information, when we get it, about Capybara and Igor Appleton will be passed to the federal authorities for criminal charges, because he is admitting that of what he's committing fraud with false statements and false reports. It's called a short and distort. That's just what the DOJ is looking for. And we will pursue that at all costs to get him exposed and have him rat out whoever's paying for him. If Igor Appleton wants to go to jail, good luck. We're going to push it all that way and let him go to jail, unless he wants to give up whoever's telling him to write these reports. All right, so that's what's going on that front. What he did in the courtroom, obviously, the SHOT, their judge ruled on them quickly. I expect the same thing to happen on us. We'll let Mark Bazile tell you exactly what this buffoon did in the courtroom. And I'm sure everyone in the Southern District now knows what he's done. All right, I'm not at liberty to tell you, but that'll come out shortly. All right. Again, GTII, we're waiting for the March, the end of the quarter. Company said they're going to put up a deal. Richard Hoffman has been posting it. He'll keep you up on that with the Alpine saga. One person questioned that am I making all this stuff up about naked shorts and GTII? And William, I'll let you answer that if you're
What's
better.
where they're trying to trap you is if you're
evidence?
making it up?
What evidence do I have to support that there's a short in GTII?
Well, I would
There's only
say
one thing.
two things right up front. These guys do it in the dark, so you don't have black and white proof, but you have circumstantial evidence. It's down, 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 down. And if they were covering, you'd see the stock snap back up. The stock does, to my eyes, never acts as if there has been buying to cause it to go back up, other than a year and a half ago, year and a quarter ago.
Well, I'll just make it easy for you.
Circumstantial evidence shows it.
Don't believe anything I say. I'll put up the proof, and it's GTI proof. It's from the Depository Trust and the NSCC, where they tell you there's a contract.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
All the other stuff is just,
It's a good point. They put it in black and white. That Alpine is in default, so to speak. That's not their word, right, because of a large, not undelivered short position in GTII. It's there in black and white before the court.
Yeah. This world is so sick. I can't stand it anymore. I mean, I'm fighting naked shorts, and all the rest of the world is. I just posted something, and I have to see right underneath it, an Indian mother filled with emotion as a Muslim man slit the throats of her two young children, aged 6 and 11. What the fuck is this world up to? It's just remarkable.
I have a friend.
Anyway,
I have a Chinese friend.
I can tell you, just get more guns. I don't know.
I have a Chinese friend. She always said, if you're going to kill yourself, why don't you just go out in the woods and kill yourself? Why do you have to take other people with you?
Terrible stuff. I mean, I can't even read. I can't stand Twitter just based on what I don't sign up for this stuff, and I'm getting it, and it's just brutal what I'm saying all over the world. These migrants, it's just terrible. Anyway, just moving along, TELO. And this goes to all your stocks. TELO is a 25-day-old company. We know the people that own all the shares. The stock went from opening day of 7 to 450 squeezed up to 23. The short came back and attacked it back down. They put up a big wall at 9, and they attacked it yesterday or the last 2 days ago down to 470 something again. Well, in the next 2 days, it's bounced back up to 670 again. This is not investing. This is a hockey game. It's a casino. And what you're seeing there, because it's so thinly traded, and a short is in so much trouble there. The wild manipulations are someone trying to get people to sell and to cover. That's all they're trying to do. They know they're trapped. All right. And this is the sign that you see. Again, my family owns it, friends of mine own it, and I own it at 9. I'm not concerned about it, but watching it daily is ridiculous. The gentleman that bought the 1 million shares, the whole IPO, he bought it at 7. I'm sure he would have paid 9 or 10 for it because he knows what's going on. But yet these criminals out of Canada, which they already identified, okay, manipulate the stock, and everyone sits there screaming, what's going on? What's this? What's that? Has nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with the company. I know nothing. I don't even know I know they want to extend your life. I don't understand what they're doing, but it's there. The information is there. Yet they attack it. Doesn't make a difference what they do. Someone just brought to my attention about Northwest Bio. And let me just read what they sent to me. Hold on 1 second. Take it easy, William.
Relax, everyone.
They think there's $2 billion short in Northwest Bio, which I would agree on. Many think the size
$2 billion. I mean, it's
2 billion shares. This has been going on a long
2
time.
billion shares. Yeah, it's got a huge outstanding share position.
So it's could probably bankrupt the market makers and the clients as a potential. He's saying it's basically a game. Listen, I've been following Northwest for a long time. You know, they busted out big players. You know, big investors got wiped out. It's just criminal what's going on. To sit here and anyone to yell at us for reporting and trying to stop this fraud is just a joke. The proof on GTI is right there. The proof on Northwest Bio is that everyone's fighting West Christian to expose the spoofing, this, that. We're fighting the biggest crooks in the world. And the people that throw shit at us are the smallest crooks in the world because they're trying to protect their livelihood. They trade from the short side. They short, distort, and attack. They do it. A lot of these guys do it at day trading firms where they don't need to borrow shares. There's small hedge fund players here that are doing it. And those are the people that are screaming. The bigger players that are shorting zillions of shares, the Citadels and the Virtue, I don't believe they're out there posting and doing stuff like that. I think it's the small criminals that are doing it. All right.
Because they just want to get pennies for that day.
That all they want to do is steal a couple of $1,000s for the day, give each other a high five, and go home. That's what they're doing.
We had fun at the Long's expense. I read that once they posted. It's fun for them.
This guy Jack saying is the proof for years.
The problem with Northwest Bio.
I mean, people have to come back and address me saying they had this proof for years and nothing. Well, guess what? If you don't fight through it, they're going to rob you, Jack 1158849 on Twitter. They're just going to rob you and your family. And if you have the audacity to sit here and try to spit at me for exposing this, I'm just going to be obnoxious back. I'm not here to do this. I don't want to confront anybody, but I don't take shit from anybody. This is an insult. It's an insult for people that are losing money in it. I have people that own all these shares and these stocks, and we have to sit here and fight these animals every day. All right. In Finger Motion, I'm looking at it's 199 bids for 200 shares, and there's 27,900 offered at 2. The shorts never show their card. And if you were short at $6, $5, and there's 30,000 here for sale, wouldn't you scoop it up? Because all you have to do is buy it at $2.
If you were doing legitimate trades, but they know they can just keep selling and selling.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
If I was short and that was a legitimate seller,
Yeah.
I'd buy it. And if the stock pops up to 250, I would offer the 30,000 I just bought and put it out for sale again, correct?
Right.
But that bid and the offer are both the shorts. That is your example how I know it's the shorts on both sides. All right. So there's an example of them trying to press the bet, offer it, trying to hold it below 2 so that people get tired and give up. That's what they're trying to do. But by giving up, all right, look at TELO. It was down to 4.5 the other day from 9. They just dropped it like it was nothing. 50% haircut. And now it's turning back up. That's the stock market. If you believe in the story or you know what's going on in the stock and understand it, you're able to sit with it. It sucks. Trust me. My family asks me every day, what are we doing? What's going on? What do you think? I answer the same questions. Stay put. We believe what's going on here. We know we got them. All right. And it's good. When it happens and it turns, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. ROOT. I hate to sound like a broker record. Went from 7 to 60. Yesterday they took it down 12. Today it's back 4. This is not investing. This is all criminal activity. If you think you can survive in the middle of this whole game, you're out of your bird. That's how tough it is. You know, hey, yesterday I told everyone I love Boeing, right? I said buy Boeing calls. It's up 4.25 today. No matter what they do, planes, the tires fall off the plane, the doors, they took the stock down enough. Now the government has to protect the stock. And again, whatever comes out, you're going to see a nice big contract by the government giving it to Boeing to build military planes or whatever they're going to do to save the company, because they have to save all the jobs that are there. No matter how bad the company's operating, that's what's going to happen. That's how you have to think about Wall Street. Everyone keeps saying, short, it's going down. Not this stock. They'll turn it, support it, and turn it around. And as you can see, they are. Just another trading I'm looking at in the video. I'm just shooting shit off the top of my head. It was up to 900. They got it down. I went down as 882 is the low. It looks like it's going to turn and make a run through 900, excuse me, maybe to 9.25. And that's when I would short it. So if you wanted to play to the upside, now's the time to do it. And, this is, that doesn't, when you see it not trading, this is an $885 stock and it's not trading. That's a buy signal. There's no one selling it anymore. So obviously something good's coming out in this company. The shorts are trying to break it. So this is a time I would start, if I'm going to buy 50 calls, you buy 20 and at least you have 30 left in it. You can put in your pocket if it dips a little bit more. And if it goes, you got 20. That's the way I would play it. I wouldn't go all in on one position. I'm saying this because people ask me that. These are questions that are sent to me and I'm just answering about that. But again, yesterday I told you about Boeing. I put it up. I thought it'd be a good spot to buy it because the government's going to have to protect it no matter what happens. The pilots could be falling out of the planes. The stock is going to go up now because the government has to save it. And these are things you have to learn about Wall Street the whole time. I discussed the GTII with you. We're waiting on that. Stock is still around 30 cents, 28 cents today. And what else did I want to discuss? I forgot the other one. So ZJYL, I have no idea what it's doing today. It's doing nothing. So after the big attacks, it stops. Once they stop attacking, these guys are going to try to cover again. So I look for a spike up on that. GDC, same thing there with GDC. GDC, both of these companies have been under such attack lately. The people I know are still in it. My friend told me that I spoke to the biggest holder, one of the biggest holders in Finger today, and I told him about CJYL because my friend told me to tell him, so I did. All right, so I put them together, and hopefully that guy steps in and buys that stock. People love opportunities. Again, it's not me telling him. I passed them along to someone else. Any questions, William?
Well, there's one question from yesterday, which I mentioned to you. Do you think there's any significance to NASDAQ halting trading in the pre-market Monday morning?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. Listen,
Okay.
stop looking into all the nonsense. All these things that keep dragging people, you have a lot of questions. It's pretty basic. All right. Everything is about one thing: stock settlement. People are selling shares and not delivering them. They're flooding the market with counterfeits. Every company has too many investors and too few shares. The SEC refuses to address it. They address everything about the stock market. We're going to get you better pricing. We're going to get you better commissions. We're going to do this, that, and the other thing. But they never talk about stock settlement. GameStop, as fast as it went, as fast as it came back down, has disappeared. You got Charlie Gasparino pissing on the people on AMC holders. He's pissing on the MMT holders. What did anyone have to do? Why they shut that stock down? Why can't they give you a number? Because that number, when it does come out, is going to change the whole game. And I think something is coming because the attacks on these stocks, not just the ones that we follow, there's many. My friend told me about a company, I can't remember the symbol, it's like 50 million a quarter, and they're killing it. It's not profitable, but it's doing huge business. And he told me the Russell Index, they dropped the market cap to get on the Russell from 250 million to 140 something million, I believe he told me. So, I mean, so even the indexes are starting to feel the crunch because companies are not maintaining their price or their market cap to stay on these things. Even though they're good companies, once they drop below the number, they have to boot them off. Do you understand that way?
Yeah.
So imagine having your company listed on the Russell, all of a sudden it gets delisted from the Russell, excuse me.
Well, then all the institutions or all the ETFs have to liquidate your stock. It's not a good
So
thing.
that's what they do. So people, they're doing it all over the place.
Yeah.
They're unwinding the whole equity market. The rules they have set in place, the criminals use against the companies.
This guy,
guys like
this guy, Thomas James, I've listened to him. He talks with his hands like this and he's got a British accent but he follows the markets. And David, the truck driver, is pointing out that Thomas James just put out a video stating that Ken Griffin will be arrested. And he mentioned that also the Alpine shutdown, which is interesting. I kind of consider that guy mainstream almost.
Listen, Alpine shutdown. It was a big prime broker that was operating inside the biggest institution in the world, and they were defrauding that bank. So if you were filling out fake bank loans and taking money and robbing the bank, they would lock you up. How Alpine is not in jail for defrauding the depository trust is just amazing. The only thing I think what's going on is they want to shut them down first. And once they get in there, just figure out how big this fraud is. That's when these guys are all going to jail. Because there's no way these guys are just being shut down because they're good guys. And there's no way this guy's spending millions of dollars, like Richard said, to defend a business that's going out of business. No one does that. So there's more to this story than we see. And that directly affects GTII. Alpine was hiding a big naked short position. The prime broker for the Kramers go back in time. People don't talk about them anymore. Charlie Mayo. These guys are notorious naked short sellers. Okay? Notorious. And they're all involved and they're hiding the short and it's being hidden through Alpine. Where's Alpine hiding it? Where they're shuffling it through? I don't know. We know it's all offshore, whether it's in the Caymans, whatever.
All right, here's a trading question. MMAT did a stock split. It went up over $5. Now it's below $2. This guy sold everything at $5. Should he buy it back at $2? My answer is no, but you're the trader.
I don't know what the company is. It did a forward split?
No, it did a reverse split. The stock went up. Now it's below $2. Look, it's a great company, but as I always say, it's not the house, it's the mortgage.
What's the company? William, what's the company?
Metamaterials, MMAT.
Oh, I don't know nothing about. Listen, go find something else to play. You know what? Buy 100 shares so you don't curse this house if it goes back up. And if it goes back down, you only have 100 shares. And this way you can feel better about it that you took a shot and see how it works. That's the best way to do it.
There's many questions on ZJYL. You already answered it, but maybe you have something to
I'll
add.
answer it again. My friends own a lot. He's tied to the group that owns all the shares, and no one sold the share. They're trying to get their shares out of Interactive Brokers.
Yeah, there you go.
I introduced them to Richard Hoffman. And I said, guys, you need legal representation. And Richard Hoffman can confirm it if you want to ask him.
If not, you can
Hoffman
have your fill of some bad jokes.
Richard Hoffman said, he emailed them and said, did you need some legal advice? I introduced them. They said, hey, this is a guy you should hire if you have a legal problem. And they said, thank you very much. We've taken care of it.
Wow.
So whatever they're doing with Interactive Brokers, Richard Hoffman didn't get the job, but we also got the confirmation that
that's pretty good.
Legal confirmation of that happening already. All right. So people, we can't make things happen in a second. I know we all want it to happen. Believe me, I want to buy a stock at 5 and sell it at 50 in 8 minutes. No one wants to do it more than me. But you're fighting the biggest fraud in world history, not U.S. anymore. The U.S. has taught the world all the hedge funds had to go rob everywhere around the world. And you can see India's had enough of it. China's had enough of it. South Korea's had enough of it. All these countries had enough of it. Because all they're doing is undermining their own economies. And people are stealing the money, leaving their countries, and it leaves it in a wreck. That means that everybody who's got a business in South Korea doesn't know what they're doing, because all their stocks do is go down. Or India. They attacked the richest guy in India, cost him, I think, $15 billion off his market cap or whatever company he runs. I can't remember his name. And that was from Hindenburg out of Pennsylvania, writing reports. He came out of nowhere, writing reports on a company in India. Obviously, it was a premeditated attack. The Indian government has backed the guy from India, and now the stock is way back up. People who lost money, who got flushed out, lost their money, and the stock is now higher than it was before. And I believe they're going after Hindenburg. What more can you say? They go after everyone. I told you, after they kill the poor, they go to the middle class. Now they're killing the middle class, they got to go to the upper class. Andrew Left used to kill all the small cap stocks. He used to be called Stock Lemon, if the FBI is listening. All right. He went from Stock Lemon to Citron. And then he just went up and he attacked $100 stocks because he knows that he can drive them down $10 to $20 real fast. Instead of staying in a penny stock, he started doing big cap stocks. And he would buy puts, his friends would short it, he'd put the story out, they'd kill it, and he lives in Beverly Hills now. And he's living in fear because the DOJ is going to arrest him one day. There you go. That's what happens. Take all your money with you. Eventually, you're going to go to jail. How they don't walk away from these messes, I don't know. If I was short, if I was Lynn, I'd be scooping up whatever I can in finger motion, trying to wiggle my way out of this mess. If it took me a year and a half, I'd be scooping up everything and trying to work my way out of this thing. But instead, you know that they're not doing it because they cannot. They know once they gain momentum, they're dead. Because we're all educated about who they are and what they do. I'll just go back and touch on KNW for a second. $12 million debenture. The stock is traded 2,500 shares. How is Lynn going to get $12 million out of this company? You know, William, they're not paying it back. The devil is in the details. For anyone who owns KNW, don't ask me. I don't give a shit about you or the company. The company took a note with the devil. Go read the details, and you tell me how they're going to pay it back. They're still in trials to figure out their glucose meter. Excuse me. So there's no sales. They have to start paying them back in 6 months, or it converts into stock. Am I correct, William? We read about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's like doing business with the one of the guys that breaks your kneecap after you don't pay the vigorish. It's
so now the only way to get their money back is they have to convert it into stock at the lowest number, blah blah blah.
So where in my opinion, where Lynn Partners makes its real money is on kickbacks from its own customers who short the hell out of stocks like KNW, and they'll short 100 million shares, 200 million shares, and because of that toxic formula, they know they'll win on the trade. And guess who doesn't give a crap?
Hey, William,
Your
if anybody in the
regulators.
audience could see, did the 27,000 just traded to in figure motion? I wasn't looking. I didn't see the volume. If anyone knows, if it just confirmed that it traded, I'm just curious. If anyone knows,
Well, let
no
me
big
see.
deal. if you
What do
don't.
you want to
I'll look
know?
later
I can look at it. I mean,
And now they're offering another
202
15,000
to 205.
and now there's 15,000 at 205. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the size is coming out, correct?
Yeah,
That's their way of trying to get you to believe that their sellers are coming out, which is completely false.
there's
I'm
buyer.
asking if the 27,900 trade at $2. That's what my question was.
All right. My
Maybe
little,
something-
I
maybe
get time and sales for the last 3 trades, so it doesn't cover it. Somebody else maybe can get it for you. Somebody's asking about the Fed meeting right now. I personally don't think rates are getting lowered, so I think it'll be a lot of talk, but we'll find out.
What, you got COVID?
Yeah, probably being close to you over the microphone.
Yeah, I don't see it. I only go back.
Well, going from T+2 to T+1, do
Right.
anything? I don't know why it
Yes.
would.
It'll tell everybody we're going from T+2 to T+1. That's what it's going to do.
They
It
still won't
means
enforce
nothing.
settlement.
They don't enforce settlement. If E-Trade is owed 100,000 shares, E-Trade needs to call up whoever sold it to them and demand delivery. If they don't deliver it, E-Trade should hang up the phone, go buy in the 100,000 shares, and you send a bill to the person that owes it to you and say, hey, you owed us 100,000 finger motion. You didn't deliver it. Thank you. Buy 100,000 shares. I paid $250 for it. Here's your bill for $250,000. Get lost. We bought it. Thank you. That's how it works. But they don't do it. There'll be buy-ins every day. And if they were buy-ins every day, if you sold stock at 2 and were bought and covered in at 240 every day, and the next day you got bought in at $3 after selling it at 2.5, you'd be out of business in a week because every trade would be a loser, correct? But no one's doing it. And they said, Pete from Philly told William, they sell without fear because they know they're not being covered. They're not being bought in. And that's selling without fear. Correct, William?
That's
so
exactly
what I'm trying to tell everybody,
right.
Listen, I can't look into your finance. I can't help you with that. You need to understand the mentality, the thinking of the criminal here. They're doing everything trying to break
Criminal
us down.
mind.
Finger Motion is a different company than all the companies we talk about. TELO just started 25 days ago. Does it have revenue yet? I doubt it. I don't know much about it. They just started, and their product is they're trying to enhance your life. That is the story behind TELO.
What a terrible business plan.
If they work, if it works, you tell me what it's worth, right? KNW is working on a glucose meter to help diabetics. Now, I'm not a diabetic, but I know a lot of people who are. I don't know what their business model is, but they're trying to do something to help people. Northwest Bio is brain cancer, CVM, head and neck cancer, CELU, working on, what do you call it, infectious diseases and whatever else they're working on. That's their business models. These companies should take years before they get to what they need to do. They have to take tests, trials, whatever they're doing to make it happen. The shorts live in the middle of this and they destroy all these opportunities. Finger Motion, they did that to this company. But the difference in Finger Motion, and you can go watch Williams' video or the CEO's other videos, they do not need money. They're not raising money down here. So that is off the table. They are driving revenue. They do have big partners. They're growing. Very different than these other companies. So Finger Motion has survived the attacks and has got over the hump of driving revenue and getting to profitability. It's very different than TELO, KNW, whatever these stocks are, Northwest Bio, CVM, you name it. Finger Motion is now a company that is driving revenue and getting to profitability. It's very different, and they don't need any money. So what are they trying to do down at $2? They're just trying to get you to sell. That's it. That's how I look at it. If you think there's something else here, let me know, because I don't know it. And that's what they're trying to do here. That's it. And if I was short, I'd be trying to cover. Why not? If these are investors selling it here, why wouldn't you cover, scoop back 100? If I sold it at 6 and I bought it back at 2, I put 400,000 of profit into my pocket. Why don't they take it? Because the sellers are themselves. They're not longs. Who would turn down making $400,000, right? They're crooks. Why wouldn't you take it? That's because it's them. It's all them on both sides. And GTII, it's 0.2791 to 0.2821. That's the market in the stock. Who in their right mind is buying, selling stocks at those numbers? You can't do it. It's the short sellers on both sides. What are they doing? I have no idea. Why would they even waste their time? It's traded 57,000 shares. They're watching, waiting. And what's going to happen here when the shit hits the fan here, that's when it just goes like a root. It'll go from 30 cents to $60. That's what happens when the shorts try to cover. I can't remember the stock that went from, it was a technology stock, SGMI, or I forget the symbol of it. I forget the name of it. It went from 200, my friends were telling me about it. It was 235. They told me about to go buy calls. I watched it. It went from 235 to 185 in 2 days. I called them up. I said, "You kidding me?" I stopped looking at it and went to $1,200. Then it dropped to $600. Then it back up. It was all over the place. I mean, once the short cold, that's what they look like. The same thing happened years ago in Shopify, SHOP. It went from nothing to $2,000, I think it went to. SHOP. Same thing happened in Peloton. Everyone hated it. It went from $23 to $240. Beyond Meat, same thing. Hated it. They squeezed it, and that's what happens. TLRY, the pot company, Tilray Brands, it's $1.93. Go back and look how high that one went. So shorts do catch beatings, and then they come back to earth. That's exactly what happens. Go ahead, William. You got a question, or are we done?
Well, T-Low is hitting new highs. Well, not highs, but it's up 50 cents. But you've already talked about that. One guy's pointing out that KNW's technology detects compounds in a non-invasive way. It's bigger than diabetes treatment.
Kill the diabetics.
And then this MMAT.
If it was $7, I short it. At 70 cents, this is Lynn Partner's sweet spot. But they need suckers to go buy it. So I don't care what their technology does, what their compound does. I'd rather own a stock like CVM that's put years into it already, working on a cure for head and neck cancer. And my friend had head and neck cancer. And I never thought anything about it until I met someone who had it. And it was brutal. And it was brutal what happened to him. See, Northwest Bio, brain cancer. I posted a picture of my friend. He died of brain cancer. I'm sure everybody's had someone die of brain cancer. So if you think KNW is going to make it out of the grips of Lynn Partners, and I will always remind people, whatever news the CEO comes out, I'm going to post Lynn Partners' toxic note there and just remind everybody, stay 200 miles away from here because you're going to get robbed. And it's my business, and I'm allowed to show you the facts, and I will show the facts because I believe they're going to rob you. And you know what? You can say whatever you like. Defend it, defend the company, the CEO. Tell the CEO, come out and tell us about why he did the deal with Lynn. What nice guys. Did they buy him?
Well, I mean, we read it out yesterday. I won't read it again, but
No, you don't have to
why the
understand
hell
it.
would any CEO that graduated, 8th grade sign a deal like that?
Well, I have to believe that his lawyers told him that you have to get money or you're going to go and you're going to get wiped out. So he took the money. He signed the deal with the devil. Now what he's going to do is let them destroy the stock.
In 6 months, he has to start paying it back at usury rates.
Right. So
what problem did he solve?
Nothing. He bought 6 months worth of time. And every day the stock doesn't trade, he's sitting here in a panic because he has to put out good news to try to get people to buy the stock because he needs Lynn to make money and get away from him. That's what he's trying to do. And I'm not going to allow Lynn Partners to rob from investors. The stock can go to the moon, but I'm letting you know that you better do your homework before you buy one share of this stock. That's it. I don't own it. I'm not shorting it. Only an asshole would short a stock at 70 cents. Not worth it.
Or someone who knew that the game is rigged in their favor. And
oh no, if you have the debenture, what are you kidding me? They're sitting here laughing. They're sitting every time the stock trades, they call up. Did we sell that share? Did we do that? 2,000 shares traded. How many did we sell? That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
You sold 3,000 today at 70 cents. Okay, that's 2,100. Got a long way to go to get to 12 million. Keep selling. That's what happens. I don't know where they're doing it, where it's housed, but whoever it is, it's in their camp. That's all you have to know. And obviously, we spoke about KNW yesterday, and it's just so funny that who introduced Lynn Partners to KNW?
Well, Benchmark. This is an interesting point, and my observation, this guy is a longtime listener. He understands the CEO of KNW is wealthy enough to pay off the Lynn loan all by himself. Well, I'll tell you what, once you've already started this process going, paying it off won't stop it.
William, that's nonsense.
Oh.
If the CEO is wealthy enough, okay, if he's wealthy, then he's an asshole for signing that paper because it cost him $1 million to get $3.6 million, and he's going to get crushed for it. I don't know anybody, if he's so smart, why didn't he put up the $4 million himself and pay himself $1 million in commission?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You make more money doing that than putting it in the bank. That's for shit sure, right?
Yeah.
Wall Street is about other people's money. Go watch the movie, right? And that's what he did. He doesn't want to put up the money. He went to the street. I've seen many CEOs say the same thing. Oh, my guy's rich. But why do you take the note? Oh, because he wants to use other people's money. Don't believe that. I don't believe it. I'm just typing to someone to ask about that print. I texted to my friends. It says, "Hey, jerk offs and finger motion to 27.9 traded 2." See, I'm very polite.
Hey,
to my own
jerk
friends.
off.
That's I'm very polite to my friends.
No wonder you're so popular.
I'm popular. And I think the video was down before when we were speaking. Now it's unchanged. It's up a penny at 8.93. I told you, I think a run is coming to 9.25, $925 is what I mean. And at that point is when I would buy puts.
Well, you've called that trade over and over again.
Well, this is what happens when you learn how to trade. I stepped away from that to try to stop this. Not yesterday. This is 20 years ago. All right. And I vowed that I would stop this. And I feel I'm still on this earth for that reason. I hope I don't fix it and then drop dead. That's not what I'm looking for. But if it does happen, so be it. But that's the way it is. At least I know that I did everything in my power to help educate everyone. Look at the MMTO people. They had no idea what was going on, right?
No.
You know, now they learned it. There's a lot of smart ass people there. They learned it. They're fighting back. God bless them. Go get them. Right? I'm with it. But you see how time kills it? They try to silence the crowd. You know? That's what they try to do. They've tried to make the news disappear. But there's so many stories coming out from all different angles. Companies being it. How does a capybara, this Igor Appleton, have the right to go out there and write fake stories, get busted in a courtroom in the Southern District, and they let him walk out the door? That's worse than Hal Mintz stealing money, buying a condo in Miami, bought by the SEC in a naked short selling scheme. And they let him walk away with his parting gift from the game show was a $10 million condo. You tell me, should we just join their side and just start spreading negative fake stories? Right? Why not? Stocks go down faster. Trust me, we all see that happen when people start to panic, right? People don't panic on the upside. They're all panicking on the downside. Panicking on the upside, I can't go, William, hurry, William, go buy a stock, you're going to miss it. William's going to look at it and say, wait a second, let me slow down. What am I doing? On the short side, you sit there and say, hey, you better hurry up and get out of the stock. It's going to go down. And it starts to tick down because all these guys are working at these day trading firms. They don't need to borrow shares, and they just sell it with the market maker exemption. Just whack it out. They sell 10,000. They call their friends. They all sell 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. All of a sudden, the longs start to panic. Stock trades 3 million shares. It's down $1. And they start laughing, covering it back, and they walk away making $5,000, $8,000 and see you later. The CEO, the shareholders, everyone knows, no one knows what's going on. What happened? And that's how you start, and that's how you yell fire in the movie theater. There you go. Anything else? I can't remember all the stocks. I'm just trying to show you like a TELO. They blasted this stock down below $5 2 days ago. And in 2 days, it's moving. Now they can't buy any unless they sell it. There's no sellers in the stock. This thing just started, and yet these guys are so crazy. They trapped themselves in 3 weeks, trying to control the stock. The one guy bought the whole float at 7. It's still below that number. I think Wolf came out in earnings today. I couldn't remember. I didn't get
Last night.
that.
We read it last night. I don't know if you were on the line. They were good earnings. I mean,
well, if it's not related to Bitcoin, why would anybody even? What does the company do? I watched the video. The gentleman that was in the video on Twitter, I met that guy. He's from BlackRock. He was BlackRock. He builds nuclear power plants. Him and the CEO. I mean, these guys.
But he doesn't know anything about business the way they do at Yorkshire. Yorkshire knows all about business.
They had no idea about they had no idea about loans and this and that. But the guys all built Riot and Mara. They built those companies and they started a new one. And they borrowed money and they got caught with the bad guys. You know, the bad guys come up, we'll give you $30 million, we'll give you big numbers, blah, 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 blah. And look how long it's taken to clean them out. And Bitcoin had its biggest run from 17,000 to 70,000, and the stock is up 20 cents.
It's all about destroying the denominator. So on a per share basis, good news is schmooze on a per share basis.
Right.
And
anything else? I don't want to keep you. I know you don't feel well.
I don't feel well. This guy Luna TK777, he just called you a jerk, and you know what? He's right. I'm looking at his picture. This guy could beat you in racquetball with just one hand. He's massive.
Oh, good. As they say, thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you very much. If he would like to tell him, I'll give him the name of the FBI agent. I'll go to the FBI with him. He can go up there and say whatever he likes. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm a
did
jerk.
Finger go to the Roth event in California?
I don't know. I thought it was. I saw the photo on Twitter. I don't know.
Well, this person's asking why did they go? My guess is that guy is diligent about attending every conference, and that's what CEOs have to do. Go get the story out.
Listen,
but I don't think he'll take money from Roth. That's my guess.
No,
not at these prices.
My friends work at Roth. They're not. My friends at Roth met the company with me, and they know better. Yeah. They know that that's not happening. And what you call Maxim, Benchmark, Aegis, and all the other thieves out there. You know, these guys. Those are the ones I don't know. And I always get a kick out of Maxim. Everyone thinks there's a big brokerage firm, just like 4 people work there.
I thought it was a magazine.
And they cover the same hedge funds. Wow, you look at it. Lynn Partners does the deal the same one as Hal Mintz does. For that guy who thinks I'm an asshole, I'm pretty good at putting things together, right?
Yeah.
Tell the big moose, go tie your shoes, get lost.
Yeah.
Just block people like that. They're here to annoy you, and that's it.
No, I don't think he was trying to ignore me. He's just one big dude. That's all.
Listen, there's plenty of big dudes in the world. There's always someone bigger. Remember that.
That's true. That's true.
Nothing else, William?
Nothing
I'll let you
really,
go. Have a cup of tea.
Really else. Nothing really else.
So finger motion bounced over 2, and the people that are trying to sell it, okay, we're offering big size again at 205. There's 15,000, but they don't want to sell it. They just want to push it back down. This is not a game of trying to sell stock. This is a game of trying to manipulate prices. That's all it is. They're not selling it, they're manipulating it. There's very different between selling and manipulation. In NVIDIA, that's selling when they bash it down. They're manipulating it, but selling because there's institutions that are stepping in here buying it. So that is the balance out. We don't have those institutions. We have some institutions here that scoop up, but when they buy it, they don't panic. They buy it and put it away and they disappear. They go do other things. In NVIDIA, everybody who's trading NVIDIA has got their eyes on this thing because it's so volatile. You could buy 100,000 shares today at 880, let's say 882. It's 894. You could sell it. You can sell 10,000, 100,000 shares and make $1 million already. So everyone is closely watching that, both in buying and selling. Very different. In finger motion, the activity in the stock is it's trading like NVIDIA. Buyers come in, sellers come in, buyers. There's no one doing anything. It's all make believe. Everything's done is smoke and mirrors that you're seeing. I can't stop it. But again, the company's not going out of business. And they're not raising money down here. Very different stock. Go watch the videos and come back with your opinion of what the CEO tells you. It's right there. The other names are different. GTI is building a business, waiting for a quarterly update on that. KNW, great technology, helping out all the diabetics. They're not making any sales. They have no approvals yet. It's going to take 100 years, and now they got to pay back Lynn. How? Are they going to pay back marbles? What are they going to do? Give machines? What they doing? So that's what I think of that stock. I hope it goes up. I hope it saves someone's life, but I doubt it. It's going to save someone's life. It's going to make Jeff Easton and his partner Phil get more money and send it to the guy in Australia so they can hide it from you. That's what's going to happen there. Northwest Bio, Big Short, they're going after them. They've been fighting for years trying to fight these guys. Stock's 48 cents. Who's selling a stock that could potentially have the cure for brain cancer? Who's out there selling it? It's 48 cents. Who would even bother? But yet the stocks trade and they manipulate them back and forth because they need people to come out of their stock. CBM, the same thing. CEO keeps trading, raising money, trying to stay alive, fighting the shorts and head and neck cancer. It's endless of the fraud. Any other questions?
Not really. There's quite a few people praying and hoping your son is doing better.
Everything's great. I was in Manhattan today. We took out the 100 stitches out of his head. Everything's good. It's not pretty to look at, but it's done. And we're back, and he's taking a shower, cleaning off the dry blood off his head. You want me to describe it anymore?
No.
It's all good. Life goes on. Life isn't fair. Things happen to people, but we pull through. His mind is perfect. He speaks Spanish. He speaks French. He's taking Chinese. He's a great student. He's taking biology. He's taking other classes, and you know what? That's his destiny.
I know he was complimenting us. I agree, Jeff. I think Ham misunderstood. That guy was complimenting you, Ham, the big guy.
I
forget his name. And you misunderstood it. But I was just seeing his picture. The guy was I have a friend in London that used to do that. He'd point out a guy, some big guy, say, "Hey, Bill, that guy over there just called you an asshole." And I'd look at him, I go, what am I supposed to do? And he'd say, you know what the answer is? He's right. Because he's so big. So that was what I was trying to make a joke.
Listen, I'm not trying to insult anybody here. I'm here to defend what's right. That's it. And if you don't have the facts and you don't understand it, I doubt that you know more than me. And I'm not a know-it-all. I'm a complete moron. I'll be the first guy to tell you. I'm the guy that reads the New York Post. That's what I am. I'm a New York Post reader. That's me. Right? I'm an idiot. But when it comes to stocks, I've been trained.
Does it take you a long time?
Yes, it takes me a long time. I fold the paper like my dad did, and I read each page backwards and forwards. And I can't read the program at the racetrack. I'm awful at it. And my father was a horse player. And my friends own horses, and I'm awful at it. I have a funny story. I was at the racetrack and at the aqueduct, and my friend's horse won. And he goes, "Come on, come to the winner's circle." I go to the winner's circle, and some guys, I wasn't doing well at the time. Some guys I know passed by, and they seemed to be taking a picture of the horse that just won a $150,000 race. And they're yelling at me. "I thought you were broke." I said, "It's not my horse." They took my picture in the winner's circle with two guys that think I'm broke. And here it is. I'm winning a race for $150,000 at Aqueduct.
Well, 40% goes to the jockey or something like that.
Whatever. I didn't care. I was just taking a picture with the stupid horse.
10%.
I went for a ride. And listen, all I'm trying to say is, guys, I understand and I study this 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and I memorize numbers. That's what I do. And I can tell based on the news and all the history of the naked short selling, which I followed for 24 years, KNW is showing you the classic. They borrowed money. They have to pay you back. We read the whole thing yesterday online.
Yeah.
The devil's right there in the details. This note is like usury fraud, just like Mark Bazile said.
That's what it
And
is.
if anybody,
Plus,
and if anyone knows the CEO of that company, a guy who knows the company,
he should buy it back. If he's wealthy, he should buy it back.
But now he'll lose $1 million. Go to Mark Bazile and have Mark Bazile go after Lynn Partners as an unregistered toxic lender. And Lynn Partners will take a beating because they don't want to be confronted by the SEC. And I'm sure they get their money and they'll take the loss. Tell KNW CEO, call Mark Bazile up. Go after Lynn Partners as an unregistered toxic lender. That's what they should do immediately. And we're waiting for Mark Bazile to give us an update on Kappa Barrett and Benzinger. Jason Resnick of Benzinger should be ashamed of himself if he was getting paid by these characters, or if he wasn't getting paid, how did he allow these guys to post fraudulent stories on Benzinger? That's like posting fake stories in the Wall Street Journal, right?
I guess.
Think about it, right? He's getting a spot. The shorts are getting a place using Benzinger as a garbage pail to put fraudulent stories out to destroy public companies, and they need to get their stories in print. The Wall Street Journal won't take this story, right? CBS Market Watch won't take this story. Bloomberg and Reuters won't take it, right? So where are they getting it? They need to get distribution. They don't put it on the fly on the wall. They put it on Benzinger. Why? Because maybe Benzinger, Jason Resnick, looks the other way. Good question. We'll get to the bottom of that. Who's doing what? Because if I send Jason Benzinger a Jason Resnick story, will he just put it up? Right? I have his email address. I can send him a story. Right?
Yeah.
I could send him a story. Why don't you post it up for me? What, are you going to check it out? You don't check out anything, obviously, because they're all fraudulent stories. How many have they done? I don't know. But they're probably sick that we busted them and it actually went after them. And we're waiting for Mark Bazile to tell us exactly what did, what's his name? Igor do? Igor Appleton. What did he do in court? Can't wait to hear that story. Anyway, anything else, William?
No, let me see, one more.
Go get a cough drop, go take a shower, go relax,
I don't
take
know.
a nap.
Go get a hammer to the head. I don't know.
Go get better, don't get sick. Let's make it,
Yeah, that's true. I want to be able to fly with you. So
yes. I reached out to the travel people about getting tickets. It's not easy, but I'm trying.
It's not easy being cheesy.
It's not easy being cheap. Put it that way. Can you get me here? Well, I can get there. I need 17 stops with a stop in Ethiopia. I'm not going on some airlines. I'm not doing that. So it looks like we're going to be going through Abu Dhabi and Dubai to go out west, to go further out west, to go to Singapore and then South Korea home. So that's the destination. Anyway, listen, everyone, have a great day. I'm sorry if you think I'm being vulgar. I'm not. I'm just, I'm upset because I need to keep fighting these guys. And I'll just end it with this one thing. KNW. And each time we get a new stock, I just try to alert you and show you, has the worst toxic note in existence right on top of them. How come no one is buying the stock? No one's selling the stock. I called out naked short sellers worldwide. Come here. Because naked short sellers do not dabble in a different stock. For example, if I was to go out there and sell 50,000 shares of this thing, Lynn Partners is controlling the stock. They can turn around, let's say they sold 50,000 or 100,000 at 90 cents. They can jam the stock up to $1 something, and I'm sitting there short 50,000 at 65 cents now. All of a sudden, I'm down 60 cents times 50, I'm down $30,000.
And you buy it yourself in.
I buy it back and they short it there then. You understand? They're trying, but naked short sellers do not fall for that trap because they probably all killed each other many years ago.
So they just have a truce amongst themselves.
And they know better. Like stay out of my, don't play in my sandbox. Go someplace else. So they don't do it. It's clear. I'm calling them out to go kill it. Kill this stock. And no one's here. No one's here. How come? That's because they don't do it to each other. Because once one guy's got the paper, one person has the note, no one else wants to be part of it. And that's how that game is played. And that's just another part of the game. I'm telling you, like, I'm calling them out. Come here. Enjoy yourself. All you can steal right here. Right in front of Lynn Partners. And no one's doing it. So the Lynn Partners is waiting for the company to come out with a press release. They're probably calling them up. You have any good news? We need some good news. And that's what they're going to tell the company. The company's already put out a press release. Everything looks great. They're waiting for another press release so they can pump it up. And Lynn Partners will sell the shit out of it. That's happening. All right, you're calling up. You're coughing. Anyway, go take a shower and have a cup of tea. Do not stay on. Keep talking. Go rest up. We need you tomorrow.
All right. All right, Ham.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Call ended.
I'll try to answer some questions, but I'm going to probably sign off because I just feel like I don't feel that good. Oh, Barbara, that's terrible. Call a plumber. Call a plumber. Ugh. I forget all these questions, but Edward, I mean, I can't believe you'd ask me to ask Ham this question. One, I don't know that Richard Hoffman is not seeing a squeeze. Secondly, Richard Hoffman is an attorney. And thirdly, I just think it would be provocative to ask that question of Ham. So that's how I read it. Edward, I've given you my own opinion for the last many months that I don't see any indication that the squeeze is coming in GTII soon. So you've got somebody else's opinion. You can add it to my opinion. But Edward, opinions are like noses. We all have one. If Alpine collapses, if a ruling goes out against Alpine, you could see a buy-in that rips your face off in GTII. You've got big players trying to get GTII to do something. But, we got to say it over and over again each day. We got to talk about it over and over again. And I don't know that it's helpful. I really don't. Big shareholders are underwater now and are in there trying to make something happen. And just because an attorney doesn't see a squeeze happening soon, one, I think he's probably, I don't know what you mean by soon, but Edward, ZJYL is the one that's going to move, but they've driven it down to $3 from 11. So it's hard to believe, but I think ZJYL is the first one to go. Then GDC. I think Finger is under pressure and will be under pressure for a little while. But as soon as news starts coming out, Finger runs. But those three are going to move before GTI does, unless one of the judges decides we are going to make a ruling quickly on this idiotic appeal that the attorneys for GTII have that FINRA shouldn't even exist. actually, I kind of agree with it. They should get rid of FINRA, the SEC, all of them. Start from scratch. Anyway, Edward, I really don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't find it, it's just churning, it's spinning our wheels in the muck and we're getting nowhere. When something happens, when there is a moment of purchase, you'll be the first to know. You'll be the first to know. Laptop fan from Amazon. I'll look into it. Lou found out he had intestinal cancer. Well, I don't know if you guys notice, there's a lot of cancer in the world now. And I think there's going to be a lot more. One of the triggers for it I can't talk about because I must follow the science that's provided by Pfizer and Moderna. I mean, they are paid very handsomely to give us honest science, so I can't question that. And I don't. We all know that the science has been proven beyond dispute. What's funny is these news outlets and people that watch that message. It was Trump that fast forwarded approval on that aspect that I'm not going to talk about. But the other source of cancer quite literally can be the radiation that is saturating the world from March 11th of 2011. Folks came out and said, nothing bad's going to happen to Americans. There's nothing to worry about. Your only responsibility is to educate yourself and stay informed, pay attention. Well, I've done that, but they've taken it out of the news. They've taken it out of all sources. But I don't know where Lou didn't live on the West Coast, but the Pacific is full of radioactive I don't know what to call it, off flow from Fukushima Daiichi. And it gets to our West Coast and it churns around. And I think that's one area. It also gets up in the air at 35,000 feet. And it gets in our rain. In fact, the Secretary of State warned everybody in her email channels to stay indoors for 3 days or a week or something like that after the Fukushima Daiichi, because she knew that the ill winds come across. So anyway, I think there's going to be a lot of cancer in our world. And luckily, the guys at Lynn Partners, Yorkville, Power Up Lending, they destroy any company that is creating treatments for cancer. And we should be thankful to them because they're doing the Lord's work, destroying companies, destroying clearly bad business plans, and allowing companies whose products save lives to fail. I mean, that's the kind of thing we need on Wall Street. This is what America is about. And I like this point, Kitteridge. They'll flip the switch one day, and then it'll be over. I think in the case of ZJYL, one thing Ham said is the shares they're trying to get out of IBKR. maybe that's the thing which will start will start a run. GME will beat earnings, and pot meeting on yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how to respond to either of those. I can't read that out loud. But there, Barbara, there was a young tennis player who collapsed down in Miami. I think 24 years old. They had to take him off on a wheelchair. I don't know when people will wake up, you know. He lived in New York City. I wonder. I mean, the radiation came across the all of the United States, Northern Europe. It went around the Western Hemisphere in a heartbeat. And it's really scary stuff. It's in our fish, it's in our milk, in our vegetables. It's everywhere. And that's why TEPCO and the Japanese, the nuclear power industry, by allowing it to be distributed in a widespread way and not fighting it. I mean, why didn't folks fight instead of giving trillions of dollars to his buddies at the banks to kick people out of their houses? Why didn't he give trillions of dollars to the Japanese to secure what was built either by Bechtel or one of those American companies? Anyway, I don't want to go through it. It's so depressing. It's so depressing. Cannabis sector has been, they're getting higher. Dun, 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 dun. Higher. Powell is speaking. No wonder Barbara's pipes exploded in our basement. I don't know. I listen to Thomas James sometimes. Sometimes I can't listen all the way through, but I think he really does sincerely good work. The headline was, I'll find it. I'll find it. Sure. I'll find it. I'll listen. Well, it's 2:48. I can go to 3:00 if there's any questions. Otherwise, I think I might just sign off. I just don't feel good. What did I think of HNRC's financials? I think revenue and earnings I think you have to be careful on revenue and earnings because they might be affected by a one-off sale of non-core assets that was worth $15 million. And they don't describe that in this. So if I were looking at their finances, I'd want to, I mean, not their finances, their financials. I would want to find out where they recorded that $15 million gain. If that's part of earnings, then that's not that exciting, frankly, because they can't sell it again. On the other hand, down here under Cunningham, they can add 352 million in asset value by drilling 68 wells. So they can maybe make up for that. So anyway, that'd be one negative I would read into it. The positive is the net asset value per share is 42 cents. I mean, he's talked about distributing, making a cash distribution, which now that this is out there, I think he'll announce. So if it comes out of the 42 cents, let's say he's distributed 7 cents. I'm making it up. It was 15 cents. I'm just using a lower number. 7 cents a share. So then you're at 35 cents NAV. And then on the HNRA, which I believe they own 7% of, but it's so hard to calculate. He did not comment. They said HNRC made an investment in HNR acquisition, which is HNRA, and they talk about it, but they don't say how much. He doesn't state it. But I think he's going to distribute those shares as well. I don't know, just call them worth 5 cents a share to us, which might be high, but I think I went low on the 7 cents. I don't know. I'm just guessing. They distribute that. So then you're at 30 cents a share NAV. The stock's trading at 2 cents a share. That's what stands out to me on the HNRC financials. That's what stands out to me. We'll see. He's got to maybe have an interview or something, and I'll listen and interpret it. Jeffries hit a new high. Well, I think Ham said don't buy puts unless Alpine goes down. I think that's how he put it. Hey, the one. Exactly, Jeff. They just changed it. I don't know. It gets depressing to talk about. No one cares about that either. Sour sop tea. NASA court. That's interesting. Well, they're supposed to change the name to Cunningham, but as ever, that is dependent on the SEC's approval, and it hasn't come yet. So I would say that's the things I would expect to happen with HNRC very quickly. You're going to get approval for the name change. There'll be a dividend. I don't know how big. I bet it's announced soon. They'll distribute the ownership of HNRA. I don't think they can do it until I think it's 120 days after November 15th, but they may announce it soon. I think they will make clear how they're going to raise money to drill these wells. They'll probably do it as a tax drilling program. And then I think he's going to have other acquisitions or other transactions that he's going to talk about. But anyway, this came out on the 19th. Maybe let's just say before the end of the month, we might hear on some of those other things. Yeah, I can't say it out loud. Panama. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway, Panama. I'm sure that cutting it short won't save me from whatever will happen. They put my account dividend with no price. What price are they supposed to use? And what dividend are you talking about? Or ibuprofen. I've taken so much ibuprofen in my life, I don't trust it. Yeah, their first album was the best. Wolf up 22%. Oh, it's totally one thing I believe you can't prove it, but these toxic formula, these financial deals are initially set up so the lawyers can give it to the prime brokers and then the selling begins. It's never taken away. Even when a good lawyer comes in and gets a settlement, the avalanche has already occurred. The flood has already happened. The hurricane has already done its damage. And you can't go back to where the company was before all of this endless selling of stock. In other words, these toxic convertible notes and etc. are just pressure valves so they get the party started. Once the party's begun, there's no way to stop it. They just sell, and they keep selling and they keep selling. And then if for some reason the stock goes up, they keep selling. If the stock goes down, they sell. And they do it, Kit, I think, in a controlled way so they can take more money out of the market. And anyway, that's my view. FNRA. I think my brain isn't working because I'm not getting what some of these questions mean. The report that Capybara and then Benzinga publishes without a thought does its damage, and the judges don't care. The problem is we are a diverse constituency. Goldman Sachs Prime Brokerage is a very powerful one constituent that pays. I don't know who has a stronger advocacy in Congress. Netanyahu brags that Israel controls Congress. I don't know. But I think to me, if I had to bet who has the control, it's the banks. It's the banks. Panama. Oh, I didn't know that was the song. No wonder Noriega. Yeah, maybe he would have received better care. Maybe. Our healthcare system is not the best in the world for most of us. For the wealthy, it is, but I don't think it is for. Let me see if your stock. You were saying ZJYL is green. Let me look. Well, it's up 9 cents. 349. It's 400,000 shares. That's how it. I mean, obviously, it has to start by going in the green, but I don't think that's the move yet at all, by any means. By any means. All right, so I'm going to say goodnight to Panama. Panama. Happy Ramadan to you, sir. Blessings for you and your family, and for everybody celebrating Ramadan. Blessings for everybody out there. I wish everyone. I'm going to sign off. I feel just. I don't feel good. So I'm going to wish everyone peace, love, and happiness. Thank you for signing in, and thank you for tolerating my short-temperedness sometimes. And say prayers for Lou and his family. Thank you for all the prayers for him, son. I think they worked. And I know I constantly bring it up, but I think we should all still remember in our prayers Jenny L. and her strength and for her ongoing strength. And we'll leave it at that. I can't think of anything else. There's no other questions. So peace.